to the Monday Brew. My name is Daniela Cole, and I am the CEO of Leading Impact. And so I want to talk to you guys about the anti-burnout October, okay? Meaning we're not going to burn out this month. Initially, I had someone tell me or try to remind me and say, hey, you know that October is Teacher Burnout Month. And so when I heard this, I was reminded, I began to kind of reminisce on my days as a classroom teacher, and then I guess my matriculation into where I am now. So I quickly realized that somewhere along the way, and I think I know exactly where, I think it was year 3, that I just made a conscious decision not to burn out, but to just brew. And so I want to tell you what it actually means to brew, so you can understand why we don't want to burn out. So what it means to brew, that means that you take on the challenges, of course, as they come, but you allow them to make you better, okay, not bitter. So just like any, I would say, nice coffee, or even if you have tea, like I love tea, I'm a tea drinker. You have to let it kind of just like sit. And I know it's not necessarily called brew, but there's a process to it, right? That the water has to take on this new flavor. And it becomes, how can I say, so overpowering that it then sets the temperature or the climate for everything else that occurs. And so you want to brew in this season, not burn out. And so the goal here is not to get distracted, not to get discouraged, despite the disappointments or whatever is happening. You want to stay focused on your goal. So in order to do this, sometimes you do have to sit still. Like sometimes you literally have to kind of unplug. You have to take some time for yourself, mentally, emotionally, and just do some things. So like this past Friday, I literally told my girls, say, hey, come on, babies, let's go see a movie. It was not a movie that I was necessarily interested in, but it did allow me the time to unplug, to kind of brew, to kind of just sit there, right? And not sit there in the challenge, but sit in a place where I got joy, which is spending time with my family. And so all of us can do some things so that we can brew versus burn out. Something else that I've done, and just being really intentional, is like today. Like I got up and I told myself today is going to be a great day. And I think many times we take for granted the power of our own tongue, the power of us being able to not only speak things into existence, but then to challenge our thinking. And so throughout the day, trust me, it was a challenging day. But I made a conscious decision, and I even found myself in my meetings with students and even parents and saying, you know what, today I made the decision to have a good day. So that's what's going to happen. And so when I began to speak that and speak to that, it changed the entire meeting. Like the whole meeting just kind of turned completely around. And I was able to get through discipline without the stress, without the anxiety sometimes that we have, because we have so many other things that's pulling at us, right? And so those are just some ways and some tips to brew versus burnout. But I also wanted to share with you, I guess, my true and most, I would say, in-depth thought when I heard burnout. I began to think about like the 3 Hebrew boys that were like in the fiery furnace. And so when I thought about it, I was like, hold on. If they can live through a fiery furnace, a real fire, then I'm not going to let somebody tell me that I'm going to burn out. I want you to think about that, because Burnout October is, to me, an illusion, meaning that I can choose to buy into the illusion, or I can choose to just have a great day. Like I can choose to be intentional that every interaction that I'm going to have with my staff, with my students, with parents, that I'm choosing to make that positive. And when I choose that, I set the temperature. I become the thermostat, right? They don't get to set the temperature for my office or my meeting. For any type of interaction, I set that for myself. And if you're really good, you can do that for others as well. Then they realize, oh, hold on, we're in a different environment. And so I want to challenge you guys to brew and not burn out. So there are some other things I did for myself because I really wanted to kind of challenge this idea of burning out in October. And so I took this amazing journey through my phone and found some amazing pictures that reminded me of my professional and personal victories as an educator. And so as I just began to like scroll through and look at some of those pictures, it just encouraged me. Like to just keep pushing towards my goals, to just be intentional. And so that's kind of where that came from for me. So I don't know how many of you have taken pictures along the way of your journey in education, but I want to challenge you to go back, revisit some of those pictures, take the time to really internalize those victories that you had. And it's not to say, oh, well, this makes up for whatever the challenge. That's not what you're trying to do. You're just encouraging yourself to keep going. You're encouraging yourself to just brew versus burnout. So to help you, I have included that in today's session because I want you to see that it did not start off. No, I didn't start off at the top. I didn't start off being this amazing teacher. And so I want to share that with you because I know that you guys probably have similar pictures along the way. So here it is. So as you were able to see, there were a couple of moments that brought me joy, that made me smile, that reminded me why I continue to do this work. And of course, it's not because all of those moments came or stemmed from positive experiences, but again, it's because I was able to brew, I was able to grow, I was able to thrive in challenging situations that only make me better. And so as a result of me staying in the heat and soaking up, right, those nutrients and soaking up those pieces that I needed personally, professionally, then I was able then to thrive and continue to be an amazing educator. And so I want to challenge everyone. A, I need you to share this video, okay? B, I want you to respond with a picture or a video of something that reminds you to brew. It can be a nice little picture from a student, a nice note from a parent, a colleague, whomever. I want you to take some time, go through your phone, go through wherever you have your stuff stored, and I want you to respond with that picture, because one thing that I do know is that, hey, a smile can just make a huge difference, right? And sometimes laughter even comes, right? Even in the midst of a storm, or even in the midst of a challenge, when we just see certain things that just make us smile, make us laugh, right? And that's all that we need. And so the only thing I'm asking from you guys, to brew and do not burn. Thank you again for joining me. I look forward to seeing your responses to this video, and I look forward to seeing you soon.